This is the Flight Data Collector Group, and this is our Week 25 update. Over the last 3 weeks, our main focus has been system integration. We've worked really hard in the lab to get our 2 working pieces combined into one piece. Prior to the last 3 weeks, we had one NVIDIA Jetson with the boson camera code and the storage code, and we had another one with Imprex code and the primary executable. We worked really hard over the last couple of weeks to combine these and spent over 60 hours in the lab doing it. At this point, we have a working system with buttons and both cameras and recording functionality. We're really happy with where it is, and we just need a little more work on the display. The most challenging thing over the last few weeks was learning how to work on code together on one system. We did some live share and GitHub stuff, and it was definitely a learning experience. I'm pretty proud of where we've come though, and it was really nice to see it all working. The most challenging part to me over the whole process was getting all of our stuff actually connected. We have about 4 or 5 programs right now that are running sort of on their own, but being connected with IPC. Getting these variables to actually be read among each other and also be valid was very challenging, and debugging, trying to figure out which program was causing issues, was also a great challenge. I do think that I learned a lot of good code practice though, and I think that in the future I will be able to make a collaborative project much stronger.
So for the previous week, the parts I ordered from DHQ, Walmart, and in shipped it to me, and then I start working on the power supply. I crimp all the wires into the 4 connectors, and is able to connect to the power supply and the Jackson. And the wires perfectly fit, and we tested on the Jackson and it works. And then the power supply is able to accept from 28 volt. It's okay with like plus minus 1 volt between the 28 volt, which is 29, 27, and turn it into the voltage that Jackson needs, which is 12 volt. And then also for buttons, I wrote a new program that allows the user to keep pushing the button, but it won't have any response for it. And that's all I done for the previous week, and my product is ready for the checkoff. And then also we update something in the poster.
Few weeks we have made some major progress on our system integration, and we have integrated all of our system functionality onto one Jackson. And because most of our programs requires different make process, and the camera's code have their own make files and CMake files, and the e-paper display also have their own make files, and so all of these different libraries is difficult to integrate them into one program, so we are running all of them as separated independent programs, and they are communicated and controlled using the interprocess communication. The IPC protocols that we choose is instead of socket communication, we are going to use memory mappings, so all of them have shared memories on the programs, and it allows us to rapidly change, communicate and change variables and control, and so we don't have to wait for anything. During the process, because we are integrating multiple pieces of codes written by different people, we employed VS Code Live Share to collaborate in real time on the Jackson. Because Jackson does not support VS Code Live Share when we are SSH into it directly, we have to depend on the GitHub to push and pull the codes onto the Jackson. And because Jackson is connected to a host PC through a local network, we are unable to have multiple PC connected to Jackson via SSH. So all of our codes will be shared on a host PC and being committed and pulled onto Jackson via GitHub. And to speed up this process, we dug up one of my old VS Code extension called git save, which automatically commit every files on file saves. So all we have to do is push and pull and compile. Throughout our integration process, we have been having issues with our ePaper display, which shows unexpected behavior than our Raspberry Pi testing environment. We have a very long initialization time and a very long write time, which is about 8 seconds. And we have been trying for days to fix this issue, but it is mostly related to Jackson's architecture, which the library uses a different kinds of SPI communication method on Jackson's than Raspberry Pi. And so we managed to find a solution to get the write speed to about a second using unsafe methods to control the display. We never put the display to sleep and keep it on constant high power, which is not recommended by the manufacturers. And we use a partial refresh instead of a full refresh, which is also not recommended by the manufacturers. So to mitigate the potential side effects, we are refreshing the ePaper display every 3 minutes to ensure a long-lasting operation. Our next steps are trying to optimize the display a little bit more to fix the unpredictable behavior and getting ready for system checkoff. Here are our timetable for this week with a staggering 68 hours spent on integration.